Hollowing in Dark Souls is akin to losing yourself and losing your spark. Having been defeated so many times, you've given up. And in doing so, you've lost your humanity and your purpose. And in today's age, it's getting easier and easier to go hollow in our world, the real world. It's easy to push yourself too hard, burn out, lose motivation, to feel stuck where we are. To me, hollowing has always been the perfect allegory for depression, that slow fade into numbness. Don't you dare go hollow. It's something many of the friendly characters say is a goodbye before you go on a perilous journey in game. And if you die too many times, if you fail and you give up on the game, their fears are realized. Your character's humanity has gone. They've hollowed. I have many hollowed characters that never made it to the end, but every so often I beat the odds. I push past the difficulty, learn from my failures, keep my humanity, and refuse to go hollow. It can be really upsetting to watch some of your favorite NPCs lose their humanity in-game, and I'd argue that the same can happen in real life when we stop chasing something meaningful. It can feel like sometimes there are hollows all around us, people with no purpose or have given up. And that's really scary to me because I've been there before, and it reminds me how easy and quickly it would be for me to just follow suit. At the beginning of this year, I felt like I was going hollow. I'd lost a lot of my interests just out of sheer boredom. My job was too much and I was definitely burning out. I didn't have a social life and I stuck myself indoors, and really, I had no purpose. I had no reason to wake up in the morning except to go to work. Despite burning out, I preferred going to work because I didn't have to stay home and slowly rot away. It gave me something to do, even though it was hurting me. Working became this forced purpose for me, something I didn't choose. And although it was better than nothing, I was in dire need of a purpose chosen by myself. My days off were just hell. Killing time, doing absolutely nothing. I'd hit a wall, or a tough boss in this analogy, and truly felt like I was losing my humanity. I knew things had to change. So, what did I do? I did what I always do. I started playing Dark Souls again for the millionth time. It's my comfort game, and I know when I'm in a bad place, picking it up is sometimes the answer. The themes of humanity and hollowing, of persevering through tough times, it's always spoken to me. It can be frustrating, yeah, and I often fail, but I kept going. This was now my purpose. Then I picked up a book I've been meaning to read for ages now. I'm not the best at reading, and it wasn't a particularly easy book to read, but I just kept going. My purpose now was to finish that book. And I slowly stacked more little things in my daily life to give me some sense of purpose. I would do things intentionally, keep my space tidy, make sure I had breakfast, make sure my fridge was full, make sure I was saving and investing my money correctly. And I want to clarify that my purpose wasn't found in doing these things, but it was found in the decision to get up and start. I completed Dark Souls. I finished that book. I kept my space tidy and so on. My purpose didn't disappear though. I didn't return to my hollowed state. I moved my purpose onto the next game, the next book, starting this channel, learning a new skill. There's an argument to be made that if you start being intentional with your time, you can never lose purpose. There's always more. It's kind of the human condition to continually want more, no matter how far you go. And by starting small, you can stack up some pretty big wins, over time. And I died a lot on my replay of Dark Souls. I fucking struggled to read that book, I tell you now. And I've made some shitty breakfasts. Learning to code has been so difficult, it hurts my brain sometimes. And I've made plenty of shitty YouTube videos. You see, you have to fail in order to improve. Failing isn't game over. It's a necessary step to bettering yourself. Every character who has ever failed and given up has gone hollow, but learning from our mistakes and hitting that wall again and again until you see improvement is the only way to avoid it. You know, stubborn people have the advantage on this one here, yeah. Now, my social life is getting better. There's still room for improvement, and I think that's the best way to feel about things in our life, like, you know, the things we aren't happy about. To see it as something we can work on, improve upon. There is no charisma stat in Dark Souls, but if there was, I'd be spending my souls leveling that now, you know? It can be difficult to find purpose when you look at life as a whole, or a game as a whole, you know? If you're struggling from moment to moment, then knowing the finish line is so far away makes hitting those big achievements seem impossible. So how do we remedy this? I'm sure you've all heard it before, but the easiest and the simplest answer is to break that goal into smaller, more manageable tasks. If your goal is to beat Dark Souls and you're stuck in the undead parish, make your goal to beat the gargoyles, you know, or reach the next bonfire. If your goal is to buy a house but you've got no money, try setting, you know, your goal to save 1,000 or even just £100. When these more manageable, easier to achieve goals have been reached, move on to the next milestone, and before you know it, you'll have defeated Gwyn, you know, and bought your first house, you know, one parry at a time. This is something I've been struggling with personally. It's so easy to set your goals too high and make them seem unachievable when really they are achievable, just with time and effort. It's the same with this YouTube channel. I didn't start thinking, I didn't start it thinking I wanted 100,000 subscribers or even 1,000 subscribers. When I first started this channel, I set myself the goal of reaching 10. And it's crazy because really that is nothing. It's so tiny, but I've hit it. And every subscriber felt like this huge step forward. The next goal is 50, I suppose, but, you know, I'm happy with 11 at the moment, to be honest. And I believe that if I came into this setting my goal on this channel to be famous, to hit 1 million subscribers, to be making loads of money and reaping the rewards, I may have gone hollow by this point. But by setting the goal as something so incredibly easy, it's made this journey so much more fun and rewarding. And I just want to thank the few people who are subscribed and do watch my content, especially you, Domina. I think I've said that right, Domina. Dreams, you know, are really important to have. Large goals that can take a lifetime to achieve. And I believe we can really achieve anything if we believe we can. But goals that are too large, like 1 million subscribers, you know, they can be scary. It can feel sometimes like they own us rather than us owning them. One final note before I wrap up this video is that in Dark Souls, a character can actually reverse their current hollowing by consuming humanity, a resource that can be hard to come by, you know, unless you know the best area to farm rats. It's a resource that I've ran out. It's a resource that I've ran out of in many playthroughs. And although the game can seem impossible at times when hollowed, when you become human again, you're able to ask, like, others for help. You can call NPCs or real people from across the world to come help with a challenging area or boss. You can even go off and help others when they are struggling. It's easy to forget when you're hollowed that other people are there to help you, and that you in turn can help other people, you know. If purpose, curiosity or discipline is our humanity in the real world, then in doing those things that give us that humanity, we're better able to give and receive help. Life, for a fact, is not single player. Our personal challenges, our bosses, can always be tackled co-op, and it can be hard to remember that sometimes, especially when you're hollowed. So, if you're sitting there right now, feeling like your fire is fading, maybe you're stuck at a job that's draining you, or you're staring at, the mess in your room that feels too big to clean. Just remember that you don't have to link the fire today. You just have to make it to the next bonfire. Pick up the book, wash one dish, open the game, whatever it is that gives you that tiny spark of doing, hold on to it. Because the moment we stop wanting, the moment we stop trying to push against the walls, that's when hollowing starts. I'm still at 11 subscribers, and I'm still learning how to code, and I'm still probably going to die at the Capra Demon a couple more times. But I'm here. I'm human, and I'm not giving up. And if you haven't played Dark Souls yet, give it a try and see if you can pull that same meaning out of it that millions of others and myself have. It sometimes feels like the most important piece of media in my life. So thank you for being part of my journey. Stay stubborn, stay human, and seriously, don't you dare go hollow. Love you lots. Bye-bye.